Call the January 13th Triton School Board meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Move on to the oath of office. We have 3 school board members that were elected this year: Rebecca Knudsen, James Jensen, and Scott Curran. If you would stand, I'm going to read the oath of office, and then we will go through. Did you have that in your packet? Yes. Yes. We will go through in your packet. You have the oath of office. So once I read the first part, I'll have you all, 3 of you, read the bottom portion. It is an honor that you are elected to guide the education of our community's children. As you recite the oath of office, you assume a tremendous responsibility as a director of our school district with the duties empowered by the Minnesota legislature. This power puts you and the other members of our school board in the position of being both morally and legally responsible for equitable, quality education of every student in the district. In carrying out this responsibility, you will be asked to fulfill the roles of vision, structure, accountability, and advocacy. In providing vision, the board, with extensive participation of the community, envisions the community's educational future and then formulates the goals, defines the outcomes, and sets the course for the public schools. To achieve the vision, the board establishes a structure and creates an environment designed to ensure all students the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. Because as a board, we must be accountable to the community. We must ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children. As board members, we serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community schools to advance the vision for our schools. Furthermore, we must strive to work together with the superintendent and staff to lead the district toward fulfilling the vision we have created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills and knowledge, citizenship, and personal development. And then if you all just want to read the portion below the stars there.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead and read it all together.
Having signed an acceptance of office, oath of office, I hereby publicly affirm my commitment to the oath of office. I swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and that I will discharge faithfully the duties of the office of school board member of Independent School District number 2125 to the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. We have recognition of visitors open forum.
I have Dean Schutte and Damon Bringleson from the Claremont Chamber of Commerce. We're here to present a check to the board. So if you 2 gentlemen, they did hand out a spreadsheet, and that kind of shows the total of all of the different things that they've helped support fund over the past year. So very gracious for your support. If I could get the board to go over, do you guys want to say anything first?
Well,
You can just come up here, Damon.
yeah, sounds good.
We're just gonna say that, we're proud to support the Triton School District. It's something near and dear to our hearts, and it's something that we want to continue. We thought we made a pretty good endeavor this year, and I can tell you that we're already $6,000 into donations for 2025, thanks to a raffle that we helped coordinate with you guys. So we're looking forward to a partnership in the future to help out the Triton District as much as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you, it's very much appreciated.
It does show, I mean, when they get the bingos together and stuff like that, the kids come and help out, which is awesome. It shows that they're putting effort into it too. So it's not just the adults getting involved, it's the kids getting involved too. So this is.
Right, and that's something that we are really kind of keying on is we want the people to have a little skin in the game. So, if we ask kids to show up to help clean up ditch or to do whatever, but to help sell a raffle ticket, to help sell bingo, whatever. The families have been very good about stepping forward and helping in that regards. So if people are willing to put some effort into it, we're more than willing to help make it a reality. So
Thank you.
that's what we did this year,
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
2024,
2024.
right? So
Can I get the board up there so I could get a picture of all of you?
I'll have you take one of this one too, if you don't mind.
Huh?
I have to take one of this one too. I know your name too. I need to strengthen.
It's okay, I'm sure.
all the gaps.
Yeah, scoot in there, Dale.
How about the student council rep?
Yep.
Give it a Corey.
Put him up front, you got the Viking shirt on.
Hey, mine, I got mine too.
All right, smile, 1, 2, 3. Then I gotta get my bands. Got it. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Sir. You want? Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 5, approve agenda.
Second.
Motion by Lloyd, second by Brian. All in favor? Oppose? Motion carries. Number 6, Cobra Pride.
Yeah, I wanted to recognize Christy Faber and Student Council. We've, the numbers that you guys have gotten involved, the number of students involved is just amazing. And I know you're continually getting people to ask to be involved, and I just wanted to recognize you guys for your work and, very much appreciated because it's noticed, so thank you.
Number 7, reorganizational. So first part of this is gonna be the election of officers. We'll begin with the office of board chair. Do I have any nominations for the office of board chair? Nominate Wendy Kenworthy. Any other nominations for board chair?
I'll second. Person.
Any other nominations for board chair? Any other nominations for board chair? Having no other nominations for board chair, Wendy Kenworthy is chair by acclamation. Do I have any nominations for the office of vice chair?
Nominate Rebecca.
A second.
Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Having no other nominations, Rebecca Knudsen will be vice chair by acclamation. Next up is the office of clerk, the position of clerk. Do I have any nominations for the position of clerk?
I'll nominate Dale Jensen.
Do I have any other nominations for clerk? Any other nominations for clerk?
I'll second Dale Jensen.
Any other nominations for clerk? Hearing no other nominations for the office of clerk, Dale Jensen will be assigned by acclamation. And for the office of treasurer, do I have any nominations for treasurer?
Nominate Jim Jensen.
Any other nominations for treasurer? Any other nominations for treasurer? Any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing no other nominations, Jim Jensen will be treasurer by acclamation. We all were given a committee report, as far as what our committee assignments were in 2024. Does anyone have any, wishes to switch the committees they were on? And Scott, I don't know if you have any strong feelings about what you might want to be involved in, but, you know, feel free to speak up if there's something.
We'll probably just put him where we was.
Otherwise, we'll fill you in where Dwayne was, but this is definitely a conversation that can be had. So if anybody wants to move around. Oh, by a bunch tonight. Is everybody good with where they're assigned to?
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that meet and confer I've been on since I think I've been on the board with Matt just.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a big deal.
No,
If somebody wants to jump in there for the next 20 years.
right?
What was Dewey involved with?
So Dwayne he was the alternate for facilities and grounds. He was on that meet and confer. He was on the negotiations committee for the classified staff, which probably, are they negotiating again this year?
Yeah, this will be the end of their contract.
Yes,
after
that's
this
right.
year, so
So
they're all up again.
they're actually all up again. And then also on the administration support, negotiations team. And then,
Oh, we met last year for negotiations, no? Well, I thought everybody met last year, no? Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, everybody did.
mhm,
All the contracts will be up again.
mhm, cause they all end in 2025. They were
Oh.
20. Right? Yeah, I think so. And then Dwayne was also on the safety committee.
A lot of them don't meet very much, like extracurricular, we haven't met for very long.
Last time we had.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been probably 2 years since he's met with us.
Mhm,
A lot of them don't really meet very much.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean, slot me in wherever there's vacancies and
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. Yep, and this is a every year process, so we'll be talking about it next January again, so. You know, by that time, you'll have your feet wet and maybe have some thoughts about where you really. Want to get involved, so, okay. Well, if nobody wants any changes, has any big desires to move around. We'll leave things the same and plug Scott's name in where Dwayne was. Okay. Number 8, approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Jim, second by Dale to approve the consent agenda. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. New business. Discuss approved Triton school calendar for 2025-2026.
Anything you would like to, Mr. Luhrmann really led the charge on this year, and I know Wendy was involved as well. Anything you'd like to say regarding the calendar?
Yeah, just real quick, one piece I want to make the board aware, we took a little bit of a different approach in putting the calendar together. If you had an opportunity to review it, most of the things, in terms of what we would like to envision for next school year are similar. Just a couple of things I wanted to point out that are new or different. In the month of February, we had a number of priorities from the group, and one thing that I wanted to prioritize was having some sort of a break in the winter. So you'll note in the middle of the month of February, we have a day off, Friday, the 13th, and then the Monday after that is a day off already as well. So 4-day weekend there, that's one of the changes. One piece that came up with the committee, the group, when we were putting this together is the late start time. So you've probably heard some conversations on this, based upon the requirements with the READ Act. We can go back to those being 2-hour times. So I hopefully that's a popular thing with our families and community. But having an early out in place of a late start was a conversation. So you'll see those days marked on the calendar now. We're gathering information from our parents on families on what a preference for that would be. So we sent that out this past week, so I feel like we're at a point where we need to gather more information on a recommendation on those days at this point. But we can bring that back at the meeting in February for you all at that time.
The thing that affects is the extracurricular, then if you do it.
Correct. Correct, it does. Any questions, thoughts, ideas? Okay.
You would bring that next month for the early outs or late starts. We can approve next month, but the calendar
The
is,
calendar should be able to.
is good to go.
On a recommendation from the committees here with the exception of that, and we'd ask for approval for that next part on the early outs or late starts in February.
Perfect. Thank you.
I move to approve private school calendar for 2025-2026.
I'll second.
Motion by Jim, second by Rebecca to approve the 2025-2026 school calendar. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 9.2, discuss approve final certified staff seniority list for 2024-2025.
Yeah, and this was on the agenda last month. We just delayed it a month because there was a couple people that wanted to change, and that's all done and taken care of, so we're good to go now. That's solidified.
Also move. Second.
Motion by Lloyd, second by Dale. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 9.3, student council report.
I think I got a slide on there.
Yeah, I got that number drawn too, but
Yeah, you
that's all right. I got your slides.
So right now we're not doing a whole lot. We're just getting ready for Snow Week, which is the 10th through the 14th, February. We're just finalizing dress up days, some activities, snow court. We're just trying to make it a lot more fun this year. I mean, not that it hasn't been fun in the past, but students haven't really been looking forward to it as much as we'd like them to, and that during this time of year, students don't have a whole lot to look forward to, middle of winter, whatever it may be. So we're trying to make that something students can look forward to. And then we just have teacher reporter coming up. It's just, as you can see, a picture of Mr. O'Brien. He won it last quarter. This is just a good way for us to give back to the teachers for going above and beyond for us. So,
You guys did a nice job of decorating too. over
oh
the
yeah,
holidays.
thank you. Yeah, pretty much it right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. 9.4, Zed report.
I've got my numbers wrong on these. I apologize, but
Um,
we met last week. Budget wise, things are good. Enrollment has been pretty stable. The largest group still is that birth to 3 group. But
Yeah, if I remember now, the fund balance increased by like $500,000.
yeah,
So instead of $1 million, it's around $1.5 million. Which was a good thing. They've had some of the future students are transitioning back. They had 2 fully. This goes back to December.
yeah.
Yeah, they had 2 fully and 4 are in the process. Now, they don't say where to, but back to the home district.
But realistically, one of the things they talked about is that of most of the time when you have a Futures Choice student, they don't transition back to their regular district. And for them to have 2 in 1 year that did that, I think says a lot about where they're at with the programming and the things that are happening at Zed. To have those be not only happening, but to have 2 of them that were both successful. So that was kind of a highlight that Patrick went over with us as well.
Well, and we don't get those details.
Okay,
Yes, we-
yeah,
He just, yeah. But so thanks for that. The SRO is changing, the one they had. Got promoted to sergeant, and so they now have Zach Casper. And one of the custodians got his boiler's license, which I guess is important to have somebody. So, anyway, that was some of the director's report. Our meeting this month would have been Thursday. This Thursday, but because of the school board association, it's gonna be the 23rd. I don't know, maybe you had more from your meeting.
Just talked, the one thing that we did talk a little bit more about was the gifted and talented program. A lot of, ed districts, I guess Zed is one of the few that actually has gifted and talented programming. So just wanted to kind of, I guess Patrick was kind of looking for a gauge of where the superintendents were at with that. And I believe that we were all very much in support of continuing that, even though that might be a unique thing for Zed to do. We feel like that the gifted and talented programs are a big part that we utilize. And I know Adam is here and you know, the state did away with the academic triathlon, but they're still running it. And we all felt that those were valuable things, that, you know, the art show, the triathlon, the choir, all of those things that they do, the creative writing contest. We just feel that all of us feel that those are a value add for our districts. And I don't think any of the districts at this point have hired a gifted and talented full-time teacher. In the past, that was something districts had done, but it sounds like everybody is really relying on Zed for those programs. So just feel like that's something we want to continue to look at. And he said he just wanted to have that conversation because the person that's currently doing it has maybe mentioned something about retirement in the future. And he's like, I just want to make sure that this is something we want to continue. But I feel like that very strongly, all of the superintendents supported the continuation of those programs for our
Well,
districts.
And maybe you know, it's Becky Remley from Dot Center. It's their gifted talent.
So, and she's not a full-time staff member, but still feel that the other one I missed a few things. I'm sorry about that, but like Summer Academy and all those different things that Zed offers. And you know, the other thing that he just kind of reminded everybody that the Zed Summer Academies are only at Triton, Casson, and Byron because they feel like that is more of a centrally located to get the best participation. And they have seen numbers go down since COVID. They have come back a little bit, but not to where they were pre-COVID yet. So that was
And activity day is at
Triton this year.
May 10th, I think 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yep. That was kind of the big conversation that we had was on that, so.
Thanks.
Thank you. 9.5 AD report.
Corey was out sick today and he said he really didn't have a whole lot to share at this point in the year. So I'll just let that.
9.6 principals report.
And Trish is out sick today too.
We're here. All right. Well, that formatting didn't come through the way we wanted it to. Apologize for that. I like that. See that. You can see that.
Top 10.
Get the top 10. Very, very good. Really, the main thing at the school right now and what we've been working on, it's kind of a transition time. We had conversations with all the grades today. It's busy. You have the break, you come back, and then you have the transitions with the semesters. So it's a busy time, it's an exciting time, but that's been a lot of the work that we've been doing, helping the students finish off the semester and making sure we're prepared for semester 2. So that's been a lot of the work. The healthcare event that you can see there, I think regardless of the content or career path that our students are interested in here, we want to provide them some experiential time outside of the building to learn more. So that's just a recent piece that we've done. Once again, the end of the semester. So we have this school week. The big thing this week is Miss Swanson's in here, Wolf Ridge this week. So that's been a Triton tradition. And I don't recall if it started with Triton or if it started in one of the schools before that, but I know it's been going on for quite some time and a tradition that we're proud to continue here at Triton. You'll see a note on there, change in the day of the week. Traditionally, Wolf Ridge has been leave on Friday bright and early and come back on Monday. So a change for this year, we're leaving on Thursday and then coming back on Sunday. So I believe I got that right. Is that correct, Miss Swanson?
But still bright and early.
Still, and back late.
Still dark. That's fine.
Just so folks are informed, if you've been on that trip before, some of us as a student and as a chaperone, you're exhausted, right? So we thought for our staff and students to be back on Sunday and have the Monday, which is a day off of school, to refresh a little bit would be a good thing for everybody involved there. And I know Mr. Schlichting's made the trip a number of times, driving the bus, and it's tiring for sure. So we're looking forward to the trip, hopefully. And I'm not sure what they have for snow up there. Hopefully more than what we have here right now.
Yeah, I had more too yesterday.
Okay, well, good.
Very nice.
Looks like it'll warm up a little bit by the end of the week too. So.
Be warm and get colder.
So I wasn't sure what would be talked about in terms of the calendar for the late starts, but just remember we had one of those days today. It was a 3-hour late. What we have found throughout the course of the year, and although we felt we needed that time for training with the READ Act, it is a challenge to have a school day with a 3-hour late. So we're looking back at going 2-hour lates. For the events today are the 9th through 12 students prepared to sign up for courses for next year. We met with all of them in a variety of ways to prepare for that. We've done a number of things on those days to where we'd have to do in a traditional school day, but the late start times have provided an opportunity to not take instructional time away from those other days when doing those events on a late start. So I'm trying to think of other things. Mr. Van Beek, you want to highlight a few?
I just want to piggyback on the late starts. I will say that for those of us that are doing the trainings, including, I know, Ms. Suij is doing it also. The 3 hours was necessary because it's 2 full hours of training from 8 until 10. And by the time you take the exit survey and stuff, we're not done until about 10:15, 10:20. So it worked well this year with the large group of individuals taking that READ Act. Mr. Luderman talked about the late starts versus early outs, and we'll bring that back to the board meeting. Perhaps don't we have a study session?
29.
We could
Yeah, we can
maybe
discuss that.
discuss it at that point, the results from our results there. Mr. Luderman listed out a lot of the ACT work and stuff in the elementary. We are doing diagnostic testing. I'm excited to report to the board that from fall until winter, we are seeing great growth. If you think back to the summertime when we talked about that iReady program that we utilize and looking at growth scores for our students, the growth is happening at some of the grade levels, very, very great growth. So we're excited for the upcoming MCA test to see where our scores are at after another year of hard work by our teachers. Well, number 10, Minnesota Student Survey. That'll be coming out. I know in the middle school, we're doing it in January. It's for 5th graders, 8th graders, 9th graders, and 11th graders. It is mandated through the state. Those are, if any of the board members want, we have a copy in the offices. The copies of the survey cannot leave the school office, but you're welcome to come in and take a look at it. Questions about that, when I look through, some of the questions are such as, how safe do you feel at school? How safe do you feel at home? Is there adequate food at home? Is there a caring adult at school? Those type of questions. It's given to all schools in the state of Minnesota and has been for
Years.
years.
And it also gives you, you know, questions on vaping and alcohol, drug use, those types
Yep.
of things, because those statistics really help us know where we're at and where we're, you know, with the data, yes, we've seen a huge increase in vaping, so, and it shows what grade levels they're starting, and obviously, not that you want to hear this, but it does happen younger than it used to, so. But there's a decrease in smoking, so there's some positives too, you know.
All of our parents will be notified prior to any student taking that with an option to opt out. If there'd be a family that did not want their student to take that student survey, they can sign out of the Minnesota Student Survey.
Can I just ask, how and where is that data shared? I know it's shared at the state level, but does it show?
If you were to
by
look up
district?
Minnesota report cards for schools,
Yeah.
It has a graph on there and all that data is basically taken right.
Yeah,
out
you
of
can
it.
pull it from any school in the state of Minnesota.
Oh.
So just like you would to pull up achievement information
Yeah.
on MCA's, there's a section for the survey as well.
Other than that, we're in the days of January where we're plugging along and ready to get to the second half of the school year. Are there any questions from the board for Mr. Luderman or myself? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 9.7 Superintendent Report.
Yeah, just a reminder, we have the January 29th study session and we are confirmed with Ellers to kind of review some things with them. Financial, looking at ahead and those types of things. We had a county reunification coordinated planning meeting. One of the things that at our last reunification meeting, we talked about, you know, we have it set up so we would use like Faith Lutheran Church if we needed to have reunification, but we thought it would also be good to have a plan B. Because if there was a situation where we needed to get further away from the school, then Faith, and Faith, to be honest, would be crowded. So we talked as the 3 school districts in the county, is there, you know, could we use each other's school or could we, but in our discussion, we talked about if we were to try to use another school, that might create more crowding. If you had one school trying to do a reunification and the other school trying to get an early out. So anyway, what we learned is that Community Celebration is willing to host anyone in the county that wants to use that, and that's the church on Highway 14 between Casson and Byron. So we are looking at doing kind of a field trip this summer, and they're going to do a mass drill. But the other thing that we talked about was if there ever was one of those types of situations, it would be nice to have all 3 schools in the county similarly trained, because if an event that was as tragic as that happened in a school, you really can't rely on all your staff to try to jump in and fulfill those roles. I mean, we are going to ask them to do that, but we also have to realize that that might not be realistic. So what we thought is we would have 10 people from each school district trained. So if there were a situation in Hayfield or a situation in Casson, we could send a group of 10 people to either location to help and support in a reunification effort. So we have all been using the same reunification type training. So it would just be a matter of collaborating that and working together. So that was, I felt like it was a real productive meeting. And we are looking at having a couple more, and then they are looking at having a large crash scenario this summer, where we could practice our reunification plan as well. So just a quick heads up on that. And then principal interviews, Mr. Luderman is planning on having those start next week.
Next Wednesday.
So that's all I had. Any questions for me?
What about the retreat that we were gonna have? Is that still?
Yep, I believe that's planned in June.
Yeah, let me-
Don't make me a minute.
Okay.
You want to keep going?
I was thinking it's around the 25th or something.
Yeah, I was thinking the 25th also.
25th.
Wednesday, June 25th at 4 P.M.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any other? Our study session on the 29th is at 6.
Yep.
With others, okay. Anything else? Okay, hearing nothing, I would take a motion for adjournment. Okay. Motion by Brian, second by Rebecca, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.